What kind of fuel mileage do you think we got on the 0124 valve this past week? So far, we're at 488.2 miles on the last full tank. We'll find out how many miles per gallon we got after I fill it up a little later on. 491.4, still have an eighth of a tank left. $491.4 miles on that last tank of fuel. We still had an eighth of a tank left to go, which probably would have yielded me about 40 more miles. I probably could have got back home and then made it a little bit further, like back out towards work one more time if I wanted to. Maybe a little bit further. I may have been able to go back home and then back out to work. Possibly have squeezed another 60 miles out of that eighth of a tank, just because they have the tanks and the gauges set up to where when it gets on empty, you still have like 3 or 4 gallons left as a reserve in your tank. So I may have been able to pinch like another 60 miles, but we'll just bank on like maybe another 40. So I probably would have been looking at like 531.4 miles on that tank of fuel. But when I do get home, we will calculate what the fuel mileage is of the 2001 24 valve, and we'll see how she does. We just filled it back up, so we will clock it again and get the mileage this time, and we will do a comparison, see if it's about the same or so next week when we refill it, and try to get maybe an average after filling it up for a third time. But right now I'm off to pick up my sister's little pup and bring his ass to my house, because we're dog sitting. I should say my wife and daughter are dog sitting this weekend. I'll be working. We got the little pup with us, and his name is Diesel, guys, so he's got a fitting name for our channel here. That's what's up. This little guy, he's a pretty cool little dude. Back home to the house, and you just saw it first right there as I calculated the miles per gallon on my 2001 24 valve Cummins. So real quick, the basic formula is you take the miles that are traveled in that tank of fuel for that trip, I guess you would call it, or for that whole tank there, which I had 491.4 miles, and then you divide that by the number of gallons it takes to refill your tank to full, which was 27.4 gallons for me, and it came out to 17.9. Round that up, 18 miles per gallon. So the 2001 24 valve Cummins is actually pumping out pretty decent fuel mileage, I would say. 18 miles per gallon, that is a combination of some in-town and just straight 55, 60 mile an hour roads. So if we were on the highway, I would be willing to bet we'd probably be pushing 20, 21 miles per gallon. Not too shabby. Now I can tell you that before the miles per gallon, the fuel mileage for the 0124 valve was far worse. We were looking at around 14-ish, maybe on a good day 15, but with everything that we've done as in getting this thing a little bit turned around. This was back when I thought we may have had an injection pump, a VP44 injection pump issue, and this was when we were having the water separator on the Fass Platinum 150 get a little gunked up. But since, you know, getting all filters changed, making sure all the filters are good on the truck, we got the new injectors installed in it since way back then. Just made sure that everything was in tip-top shape, made sure our fuel pressure was what it needed to be, and the VP44 injection pump was getting a good amount of fuel flow up to it. Since doing all that, it has really drastically changed the fuel mileage for this truck. 14, 15 on a good day back then, now up to 18 miles per gallon for a mixture of driving, being in town, and I wouldn't call it highway roads, because highway I consider like 65, 70 miles an hour or above. But it's good, just kind of open roads, open throttle, cruising 55, 60. So I definitely have to think that if we were on the highway going 65, 70, just wide open road and cruising with the cruise control set at say 70, 75, just steady mobbing boys down the road. Oh yeah, we definitely would have to be seeing at least 20, 21 miles per gallon, possibly even a little bit better. I'm not even gonna lie. The truck is in phenomenal shape right now. It is so much, I've said it 100 times. It is in such better shape than what it was day one when I brought this thing home. It runs very strong. It handles well. We could still change out the pitman arm and the steering box, tighten up the steering just a little bit. It does have a little bit of not wander, but a little bit of slack, I would say, in the steering wheel. But all these old second-gen Dodges have that. It's just a thing, man. It's a given. Honestly, a new steering damper, a new steering stabilizer would probably stiffen that up a little bit and help it as well. But the truck is leaps and bounds better than what it was when I first bought it. So if the day comes that we do decide to sell this thing, it will be sad. I probably will shed a tear, because we've gotten this thing turned around to such a solid and strong running truck. I know what I have here, and it's a tank. It's a good truck. I showed a brief clip in this video too of the gauges, and if you caught on to why I showed that, one of them was blue after I started it up, which means that the memory of the gauges wasn't able to serve its purpose, wasn't able to function properly. And remember that I leave the gauges on the color green, and what that gauge basically did was reset back to the stock color, the factory color of blue, which tells me we have a little something going on. Now, if you remember back prior in previous videos, that was happening with the gauges, and I thought maybe it was a malfunction issue of the glowshift gauges. Come to find out, it had cleared up a little bit after we put in the new batteries and there was the proper voltage being sent through to them. We didn't have that issue anymore. So I think there's a little something going on that we are going to touch base on in another video. I think there's one other component. Can you guess where I'm going with this in the comment section? I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm about to say in the upcoming video about why that gauge reset back to blue. So I'm curious to know what you guys get for fuel mileage in your diesel trucks. I think I may have asked it before in a previous video talking about fuel systems and things to do with fueling on my 24 valve, but I do want to know. So comment down below again, let me know what you guys are getting for miles per gallon, smiles per gallon, whatever you want to refer to it as. You just saw it here. We got 18 miles per gallon out of this tank. We did refill it back up, so we reset the tripometer. We are going to clock it again and see if it compares to this here the next time we fill up. See if we're staying steady and typically going to be getting around 18 miles per gallon now. If the next tank is about 18 miles per gallon. We can probably count on a third tank being that. So on average, we're probably safe to say that we would be getting 18 miles per gallon. So we will see what this fill up here yields us as far as mileage, and we will report back to you next week when I fill the truck up again. But if you guys think that your truck is getting worse fuel mileage than it should, and you think that you could be getting better fuel mileage, here are some things for you to check. You should be checking your fuel lines to make sure that they are snug, there's no leaks. We know that there's a banjo bolt on the back of the engine just below the valve cover. I got on that, I think, with a 17mm wrench. Make sure that that is tightened down. That is your fuel return, and you want to make sure that that's tight so that you don't have any leaks back there and no air is able to suck into the system and mess up your fuel mileage. Also, obviously, check for codes. Make sure your VP44 is healthy and strong. Make sure it's getting good fuel supply. If you don't have a fuel gauge on it, on your truck, you may want to think about getting one so you can monitor that stuff and see what your fuel pressure is. And always just run a product through your fuel tank. I have videos out about that, and lots of people have listed many different good products that you can dump into your tank when you fill up your truck, and it will help with cetane boost and just cleaning your fuel system, keeping your VP44 injection pump lubricated and the fuel system just happy and lubed up so that it will function properly, function well, and remain healthy. So always run stuff through your tank, and that could help boost your fuel mileage right there, just that alone. I always run Diesel Kleen through mine, and I am actually thinking of picking up a couple other products and doing something different so that we can maybe compare a couple products in an upcoming video. That's going to do it for this video though. Just wanted to report to you guys what the 01 is getting for fuel mileage at this point compared to what it was getting back in the day, and that's a 4 mile per gallon jump, 4 mile per gallon increase. I'd say that's pretty damn good. So we've been doing right by this truck and turning it right around, and I couldn't be happier with everything that we've done and the outcome from it all. As always, hit that like button on your way out. You guys know what to do. The likes really help the videos get recommended to new people. If you are new to the channel, stopping in for the first time, hit that subscribe button, join the family. We're growing daily, man, and it is awesome. I can't wait to grow this channel more with you guys. I'm pretty pumped for it. I will see you guys tomorrow in a brand new video. Oh, by the way, I'm working all weekend, so we have to find time to make these videos for you, but we'll get it done. Peace.